From the Florida Weather Center, meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala!
Diamonds in the sunset, now your time has come. A pretty yellow bird flower.
All right, 9 minutes before 10 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Every once in a while, a new author will come to our attention, and you know right away that this person has a real future ahead of him or her, and that is the case with Parker Sinclair. She's on the phone right now. If you're looking at the streaming video, you see the cover of her book. It's called Eve of the Exceptionals, and if you go to Amazon, you'll see that the book is getting really, really good reviews. And so let's say good morning to Parker. She is a backpacker, a camper, a hiker, a poet, a lyricist, and an author. How about that, Robin?
She's amazing.
I knew she was an author. How about that? I knew.
Yeah.
That's all I knew. Eve of the Exceptionals is described as a fantasy novel. Let's say good morning to Parker. Good morning, Parker.
Hi, good morning, Larry. Good morning, Robin.
Where are
How
you?
are you all?
Good. We're good. How are you? Where are you calling from?
I am calling from coastal Virginia Beach, Sandbridge area.
Oh, that's a nice area, isn't it?
Yeah, thank you.
Did you grow up there?
No, I didn't. I actually grew up in Louisville, Kentucky, and then Colorado. So a little bit of both those areas.
So
and,
Colorado must have been the hiker in you begging for you to live in Colorado.
Oh, yeah. That was my parents tried twice to live there, so the second time stuck.
Oh, okay, all right. So did you incorporate your love of the outdoors into the novel?
Oh, most definitely. I have a biology background. So does most of my family. I'm the only non-doctor in the Dill family, pretty much. But I did a lot of field biology, so I use that a lot in the books. And I also have spent a lot of time. I keep saying a lot. That word needs.
Yeah.
Outdoors all over the North America and into Mexico.
Do you know, we went to an art exhibit not too long ago, and the artist that was being featured had lots of sketches and then lots of paintings. And I wondered, and the sketches were great and the paintings were great, and I wondered if that wasn't similar to a poet who also writes books. Or I'm not saying poetry is like a sketch, but it seems like a quicker, more succinct way of getting a point or an emotion across. And I was wondering if you have a box of poems somewhere and it led to writing in prose, or did you always do both the prose and the poetry?
I would say I mainly wrote in journals and poetry to begin with. Actually leading to doing the book was a long time coming from that. I had some poetry books done, but I think that undertaking was a little daunting. I probably didn't have the faith or confidence in myself at that time. I was such an avid reader that I didn't see myself being able to do what they were able to do. But then when you keep reading, you start to get these ideas and generate stories, and all these different places I had gone to and visited and people I've met just create these worlds and characters. And I think that really helped me build everything. And then, of course, age brings confidence.
Well, the names of the characters that you have created are very poetic in itself because they're all unusual. You don't have just tried and true names in your book.
Oh yeah, no, not at all. And actually, one of the main characters, Ryzen, is some good friends of mine. That's their son's name, and I asked if I could borrow it because I just loved it. He's such a cool kid. So I'm like, you get to be a prince now. He's been so excited through the whole process.
Oh, really?
Such a neat and unique name. Yeah, I love it.
Do you know, in the world of virtual reality technology, we had this discussion once that when people say you can go into another world by strapping this thing to your face and your ears, and I said, well, that sounds like a book. That's what we used to call books.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, I haven't tried those. I like what my mind does for me in playing the movies from reading, for sure. I don't want to mess with my brain too much. I
was wondering about the hiking compared to the writing. Does writing in a way give you a way to sort of hike, mentally and travel in places that you you as a writer are not even sure you're heading towards? Oh
yeah, I think it definitely has a relation with those things, and sometimes I outline my books pretty well, and then I end up going on a different course or taking a different path, and it's like, where did that even come from? These things that come to my mind, and it becomes a really neat idea. In the story, one of the examples is Stefan, who's the otter man in there. I developed this different arc with another character that I never had thought of before, and it was just very organic and natural, like you said, taking a hike and changing paths.
Yeah.
But your characters are not dull and boring. They each have their own substance, and they could, and I feel that they have backstories in themselves, even though we really don't get to delve into that much.
Oh, yes, I definitely agree, and I think that may lead to maybe some other stories, even though I made that, created Eve of the Exceptionals as a standalone, which when I went to the different schools around Virginia Beach and talked about that, they were upset, they wanted more. But I think, as you said, there's a possibility for that, and whether it was a prequel or a spinoff or, a sequel to it, I think there's a lot of other stories to be told, like you said.
Your bio indicates that you're a school counselor. So are the students that you work with reading the book, and do they want their own Heart of Cyan?
I was a counselor for 13 years. I just actually ended up resigning last June to focus on writing. I do content writing and writing my books. But I did go back to the school system, saw some of my old students at my high school I worked at, and they are reading the books. We did a reading together. I read the chapter and had it on the screen, so we got to read, and they were very excited. And I went to some book clubs where they had read it already or were reading it, and it was just, I got a lot out of that. I also did a talk on just kind of my pathway getting to where I am now. So I noticed as a high school counselor, a lot of kids kind of felt stressed about knowing what they wanted to do for the rest of their lives now. And I wanted to kind of ease them and knowing, you should have some goals and a path, but know that they can change. And I think that they really appreciated, I brought the counseling aspect, but also my own web in life that has been, so many different things.
Absolutely true.
Yeah.
So before we say goodbye, make sure that we give the listeners a thumbnail sketch of the storyline, maybe like a movie trailer version, if you could.
Oh, yeah. We meet our two main characters, Prince Ryzen and the rover girl Gem, and they meet under some very intense circumstances, actually right in Ryzen's castle. And from there, we fast forward a little bit to where they both meet up again later on, are having to both hunt down an evil that's spreading across and threatening to destroy their world, and also try to save a very important person in Ryzen's life at the same time. Along the way, they meet some very interesting characters, as you said, that both help them and sometimes make things even more difficult for them or confusing. But it's a quest, it's an adventure, it's a love story, it's got magic and thrills and mystery, and I think that you're all going to enjoy it.
And what is the Heart of Cyan? What is that?
That is a gem that is found that has special powers that is indeed going to help them defeat the darkness that's coming to overtake Parleethes.
No, wow, and I love the tone on the guy. I know we're not supposed to talk about covers of books, but I just love that blue tone that's on the cover.
Oh yeah,
it's just a pretty color. And
Thank you.
Definitely makes you intrigued. So the cover does its job to get us to open up the book. Parker Sinclair is our guest and the author. Eve of the Exceptionals. I have a copy of the book. If you would like the copy that was sent to me, call me and it'll be yours. The rest of us have to go buy it. I found it on Amazon. Parker, do you want to direct us anywhere else?
Actually, my website. If anybody wants a signed copy and some neat materials, I have keychains and stickers and bookmarks through my website directly. I can send a official signed copy to everybody.
That's parkersinclair.net. Is that right?
Correct. Yes, parkersinclair.net. That's it, Larry. Thank you.
.net. Parker, thank you for being on the air with us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Larry and Robin. Have a great day.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. The U.S. takes full responsibility for leaks in the investigation into the Manchester, England bombing that killed 22. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson in London.
The president has been very strong in his condemnation and has called for an immediate investigation and